Good morning. We are still getting some things set up, so I'm going to be in and out for like 2 minutes. So I seem to not be able to find a lot of things that I need today. It is not a day of things being where they need to be. So can't find the plug to charge the speaker, so can't have music, which I enjoy, but I can't find a bag either that we use to keep track of all of our stuff that we take to the UU and to the cup. So all my chargers and all of my stuff is in that bag. I can't find a bag. Well. Insane. That bag is always in the same place. However, that's okay. Don't worry. We don't have to have music, or maybe I'll bring it on my phone, but then, you could always hear me singing. Oh, awesome. That is so awesome. I love to hear that, Joy. Solomon, what's up? I'll get the video on in just a second. I'm running, like I said, I'm running a little crazy this morning. I got rest. This is the first time in my entire last decade of careers that I was able to take a nap on Friday, not get called constantly on the weekend, Saturday, and today, and not be on call because it's not necessary as much. And I've slept. I've got rest. I don't know how to handle myself at the moment. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I did just realize I have a backup speaker. So hopefully the audio sounds good and everything's in the right place. Because I'm going to do a little bit of white bat in the background and hopefully it won't be too loud. So, did I even turn it on yet? Nope. Oh, maybe that's dead too, huh? Nope, I don't think so. There it goes.
Bluetooth connected.
I like my my white bat audio in the background. It's calming to me. White bat. If you haven't checked out White Bat Audio, it's very cool background synthwave, kind of like 80s. Just really neat music. Sorry. Too loud. Let's try that again. I'm telling you, the things are not in the things today. Now, I'm hitting every single wrong button that I can possibly hit today. I need to turn Bluetooth. I'm telling you, it's one of those days.
Bluetooth disconnected.
But we're going to make it through, no matter what. Ziggy! Hello. Let's try connecting again.
Bluetooth connected.
I am glad that I've gotten the rest. There we go. I wonder if there is something just a little bit softer than that. This one, actually. So you might hear it in the background a little bit, you might not. I am having some whatever kind of difficulties they are today, but I'm telling you, it's still a great day. So let's get started. I do want to go ahead and, obviously you haven't heard Rook, Brett. He is not here today. Again, he had to work. They're preparing for a revisit at his job, which means this is something that happens annually, and it requires some extra work. So they're working as a team on the weekend. So let me know if the music is too loud in the background. I'm just lighting my charcoal for the moment. And then I'm going to call. Okay, let me know if it gets too loud. I was very close to canceling today and ended up deciding to go ahead and do it, but I got cleaning the closet and cleaning the laundry. I'm getting some stuff done around the house because I got rested. So I was almost ready to be like, we'll cancel, but I really love doing this, so we're gonna stay with it. So give me one more second to check one thing on the puppy dog. Okie dokie. I think I might actually be ready. Sorry about that again. When it's just me too, it's a little bit harder to kind of get things moving and set up and stuff. So we are ready to go. I'm going to start with calling, and then we'll get our video live, and we'll get moving on some of this discussion that I have today. I've got a lot of fun things to talk about. Whew. Time for a deep breath. Ooh, yeah. Take a deep breath in. Ooh. Let all the nasty, unfun out so we can get ready. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hear me, friends and ancestors from the East. Hear my voice carried on the air of clarity and truth. Watch over us as we cast our circle of safety and love. See me, friends and ancestors from the South. See my flame of passion and creation seared into the energy of the universe. Watch over us as we cast our circle of limitless possibility. Feel me, friends and ancestors from the West. Feel my love, fear, sadness, and joy washed into the waters of the rivers of compassion. Watch over us as we cast our circle of connection and motion. Reach me, friends and ancestors from the North. Reach my feet and hands, the earth in my toes, and the work of my fingers. Watch over us as we cast our circle of strength and grounding. And know me, friends and ancestors from the ether. Know my intent, know my heart, and know my spirit. Watch over us as we ask you all to join us in perfect love and perfect trust. Hear, see, feel, reach, and know that our circle is safe, the circle is sacred, And the circle is cast. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Got a couple things to talk about today. Probably be, again, tend to be a little bit shorter when Rook's not here because, well, actually, I thought that and then it was longer because there's nobody to stop me from talking about stuff forever. So, but anyway, I'm really glad everybody is showing up and having a good day today. I've got a couple of things I wanted to go over and talk about, but we'll get started and jump right in. And then I am going to use a very fun tarot deck that I recently got. Hopefully I will show it in just a moment, but that's how we will end today. Cheers if you have a beverage of choice, alcoholic or non. This is still some of our guava mead. We have so much of it, I figured I'll keep drinking it for now. So I hope everybody's having a good day. How's it going so far? We having fun? I know I am. I am telling you, this rest thing, I don't know how to handle it. It's very interesting to actually have some good rest. Like, I'm not used to it. So hopefully things will be going well. I'm going to burn a little bit of this. This is actually a combination blend of everything that we have put together in the last, well, very long time. So it's kind of a mix of the last year of blends that we've made for each of our Sabbats. But anyway, again, I'm not going to spend too much time on books. I have made quite a bit of progress. I've really gotten into The Expanse 2, which is my fiction, my fun novel, and then The Four Elements of the Wise by Ivo Dominguez, which I am about halfway through. I made a lot of progress this week, really learning a lot about symbols and some lore that I didn't know, which is very cool. Super excited about that. I did talk about last week the Empowerment Manual by Starhawk. Too big to show on the little mini screen here, but I will pull it up here if you guys haven't seen it. This is an amazing book. I'm reading it very slowly because I have so many other books that I'm currently doing, but it has moved up to my next on list. And this is actually an extra copy, so I'm going to carry it with me. If anybody in the Cups group or anybody I know that is physically available, I'll share it with you if you want to read it, but just we'll share it around. It's an extra copy. It'll become owned by the Cups group, not by any one person, so I'm going to donate that in. But I'm telling you, this is very, very much worth reading. I'm going to stick with it. It's really great. So again, this is an extra copy. It'll be owned by Cups, and it can be shared by anybody who wants it. I did also get The Earth Path by Starhawk because it was a highly recommended grounding spirit in the rhythms of nature. That's important to me, so I thought this is going to be something that'll be up on my list too. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with reading projects. I am learning a lot in The Four Elements of the Wise, like I said before, that I didn't think I would. I thought I knew everything, right? That's how we always, well, I guess that's not how we always, it's often I'm like, how much more can you know about the elements? But apparently a lot. And got to keep your mind open to that. Always a teacher, always a student. Yeah, and Ziggy, I feel you. This has been very off. The energy has been very off. It's been very hard to restart. It's kind of like the car that just continually turning over but not ever actually starting. So I get it. I think a lot of people are feeling that. So interested to know, is there anything specific you like to do to recenter? For me, and I've been forgetting to do it, is getting back to the basic things that I love doing. I know it's a controversial thing with everything that's happening right now in the news, but I'm going to say it anyway because it is something I enjoy. But I do enjoy shooting at a range. We do that quite a bit. More as just practice and fun versus something else. And we have quite a lot of tools to do so. I got a new tool to do that with, so I'm super excited about that. But it is very zen for me. It is very calming practice to go to a range and just hear the rhythm of those noises. So that's something that we've restarted doing recently that's helpful to me in grounding. Plus the simple act of going outside barefoot to put your feet in the dirt and kind of just rest, or going to the beach. We gotta go to the beach soon. That's a big thing for me. The Tao Te Ching. See, I don't know anything about that. That's a topic that I need somebody to bring up on here sometime. So next time you come over, that or of course anything dragon or heathen related. Which, by the way, I've been trying to keep up on some of those YouTubes you shared. Some really great stuff. I think I don't want to say the name wrong. Crawford, forgot the first name, but very good channel to check out if you want to learn a little bit on heathenry. So very cool. But we often say, like, we cycle, right? Just as much as the earth or anything else does, human beings cycle, and we cycle in and out of things. And the thing I have learned in the last couple of years is don't be angry at yourself when you cycle out for a minute. I lost a little bit of track with where the moon is, right? I'm like, oh my God, I haven't been paying attention. I need to really fix this and kind of think differently. So another way for me to center is to get back on track with cycles of the moon and the sun. So yeah, it's been very, very nice. Yeah, and we haven't been, there's just so much going on and I have excuses. So I just need to do it. We're going to go on a motorcycle ride this afternoon when Rook gets back from work. So I'm kind of excited about that too. We'll get to maybe go to a beach or find a beach that we can ride to. So, and that's funny, Ziggy. I know we've talked about this before. It's water-based. See, I'm not a I'm very earth-based, but water is my comfort zone. That is, earth and water are complementary in many ways. And I definitely seek out water to validate. It's why I have so many fish tanks. It's why the pool was so important. It's why I don't ever leave very far from the coast. I need to be within 20 minutes of a large body of water or I get weird. I just get it's almost like there's a noise that starts the further I get away from a water. It just starts messing with me up and I need to have that ability to reach out. It's almost like anti-claustrophobic, like when you can see across. And some people that creates anxiety for, but for me it's really nice. Yeah, Jackson Crawford. Yeah, and it's really good. I like his the way that he does it. It's very I don't want to say factual because it's you know there's more to it than that, but matter of fact, and it's easy to listen to. I like that. It's very academic related, and it's enjoyable. So check out Jackson Crawford if you haven't. Links are in the Two Pondering Pagans chats. So all of our ongoing projects are still kind of paused at the moment. Lots of stuff going on. We're trying to fit everything in as much as we can. So things are paused a little bit. Like I said last week, we made a lot of progress in our garage, which is where we now have, the garage is now cooled and temperature controlled on demand. So when we need it to be. And we have all of our machines finally set up out there. The Cricut, the presses and all of those things are out there, and all of our wire wrapping stuff, which I really want to spend some time on. So very interested in kind of moving forward in some of those things, or even having people come over and use our stuff to help teach us and others how to do it. We just need to get our camera set up. That's the only thing left that we really need to do. But regardless, so that stuff's still coming. The cooking stream still coming. We got to just get with Joy and whoever wants to come and find out when is a good time and just do it. No more planning. We pick a day and we just do it like we did last time. So I think that's our next good part for that, for cooking and podcraft. We need to get back to kind of some of the things we did. Now it's interesting, just thinking about this. Hold on one second. There's probably Amazon. I think it's actually the pool guy because he was delayed for a really long time. So, sorry about that. Just so it doesn't crack the speakers. I think that is the pool guy. He had to do a serious shock last night because he had some family issues. Hadn't been able to come out for a while, but good guy. Anyway, topic on the Malice experience was pretty cool last night. I'm excited when we talk about the Wheel of the Year and all of those things because they mean a lot to me. They're very personal, and I like cycles. Things I can not control, but things that I can move along with that are very beneficial to me and keep me on track. So I really do enjoy that part of it. My nose is itching. Sorry about that. So we talked about the Wheel of the Year and kind of what Sabbats are and kind of why we do them. So that was a really, really good topic. And I kind of want to continue, as we always do, talking a little bit about Beltane. So I was thinking the other day, what's the easiest way to kind of think about the cycles and then apply those cycles to everything else that we do. And so the cycles of, the Wheel of the Year, right? So we start wherever, and you kind of cycle through, and it's a misnomer to me that there's a start and an end, because it's a cycle. It's always ongoing at any given point. So as some people say, the new year starts at X, Y, and Z. You have after Yule, you have some there, some Samhain. I don't think that necessarily matters, as long as you keep it whatever works for you, whatever you like. But that process, and let's talk about where we've been this year, because that's when we're kind of getting back out and we're moving. Welcome, Shar. Glad to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Just getting started a little bit about our discussion about Beltane and what's coming up. We're going to start with Imbolc, which we did back in February, where we kind of sowed the seeds, right? We planted the ideas. We planted seeds, literally. And in Ostara, we represent the growth of that seed, the pregnancy, the protuberance of, or the gibbousness, right? If you're thinking about a gibbous moon and why it's called the gibbous moon. It's because it's protuberant, it's pregnant, it's growing to its highest point. So as we go through Imbolc, where we planted, and we go through Ostara, where we celebrate the growth and that fertilization is happening, that it is getting bigger and things are getting ready to expand. Well, Beltane is that expansion, right? Beltane is the fire. That's the first point where things are starting to really grow and make sense, and we're seeing fruits of our labors. So Beltane as a fire ritual is really important. Meaning bright fire, and I think I figured something out, Joy. I don't remember if you were here last week, but I couldn't say this Gaelic word, and I think I figured it out, because Samhain is spelled very similar. So this is Setawin and Samhain, or it could be Ketawin. Not sure. Cetamain. So Samhain, Ketawin. I'm not sure. Something similar along those lines, I'm guessing. But it's the opposing part of that 6-month cycle, right? That 12-month cycle, I mean. Anyway, for me, we talked a little bit about, Carnunos is a big thing for me, and utilizing the green man and green woman archetypes, right? So I'm going to pull a couple of things up, because we did look at some really cool altars last week, and I want to bring some more up. But I was thinking about how can we celebrate Beltane, because we have it coming up, and we've got to do a ritual, and we've got to work on. When we did Ostara, our ritual was us taking the light to the earth and us taking the light to the land. So now I'm wondering, and Joy Solomon, just plant it in your ear if you like this idea. I know I talked to Rook a little bit about it. What about starting with the fire in Beltane? And of course, we have other things. You've got the maypole, we've got all those things doing, but as a part of it, starting with the fire and letting the fire grow, and then we each have our own candle that we light from the fire, again, taking the light back to us. Because one of the rituals that is done in, I don't know where, I don't want to make it up. I read it, but I can't remember where. It's somewhere either British or Isles or whatever in those areas. Those are, one of the rituals they do is they take the fire back to their house, and they let their fire go out at the home, and then they relight their home fire with the fire they brought from Beltane. And I thought we could do something like that. That might be a little bit ritualistic, and I just thought that would be really cool. I'm trying to get my stuff to open up here so I can get my links. Hopefully it'll work this time. There we go. So that was an idea. What do you think about that? It wants to restart. Of course it does. So let's get these up. Green man, green woman is a big thing for me. I really, really enjoy that. There's, of course, you can go to Learn Religions. There's lots of things on Learn Religions about altars and different setups. Trying to get these up so that they can be visible, because I wanted to show you some of the ideas that people have done and utilized for Beltane altars, right? So we're thinking the growth, again, bright flowers, bright colors. This one's a little different. I love the way this one's designed. This is so pretty. And I just like the crystals because I'm a big crystal guy. I like the feathers, the representations there. You got a Hand of Fatima candle over here. It looks like a actual skin drum, which is really pretty. And this representation up top is gorgeous of the Great Mother. Yeah, this one that's just a little bit, hopefully it's not too small, but you've got a Lord and Lady representation. You've got some, it looks like Carnunos here. Again, simple flowers, candles. And then this one, which I like because it has a lot of greenery. So we say bright colors. Green's a bright color when it comes down to, especially going into from spring into summer, right? It's really gorgeous. So you have these live plants that are helping us breathe. You got the two candles, which generally represents the Lord and Lady, and some relative antlers. It looks like a couple of wands and a centerpiece here, based on the zodiac. It looks like so. It's just a couple of different ways I thought would be interesting to kind of share about other people's altars, right, and how they kind of look. So, yes, good. Glad we have the poll. That makes me happy because that's a big part of it to me. I love the first time I ever went to Beltane with the group was Maypole. It was really pretty. I didn't participate. I don't necessarily like to participate in that. I really like seeing the kids do it. That's the fun part. But anyway, that's Beltane, and Beltane is, like I said, it's a big fire festival. Lots of things that can help you represent cauldron and wand, bucket and stir stick, pot and spoon. All of these things can represent different things as it comes to fertility in the part of Beltane. And you know, one of the things that we're doing this year at Cups, which is super exciting to me, it really made me feel good to hear us having the conversation, which is the non-genderization of it and utilizing just the fertility aspect and the union aspect, which I thought was really beautiful. So I like that, and I hope that can kind of share out to other people too. It's just a really nice way to do it. But anyway, you know, bright colors, reds, greens. Beltane's correspondence is still in the east, but we're going east, going towards the south, which is basically like the dawn going into the bright day, right? So we're kind of still cycling in. I picture cycles as no specific piece. It just goes as you go, like it's a big circle with never-ending points. So I never say that Beltane is east or Beltane is south. We're between the east and the south, closer to the south point. That's kind of how we're heading. It's east-southeast, I should say, or east-southeast, yeah. Because we're doing that cycle. And again, between dawn and midday is kind of where we are on Beltane, if you look at it from that perspective. But anyway, hope that gives you some ideas if you want to celebrate Beltane and celebrate it by yourself. I mean, if we weren't doing our group with Cups, I probably would do something where at midday, on whatever day I chose to celebrate, I would go outside, build a fire in the cauldron, and then have a separate cauldron and wand, and then just kind of call into the Lord and Lady and welcome them into spring and thanking them for their fertility and their ability to generate food, because you know everything that we have relies on union. We don't get apples if the flower's not fertilized, right? We don't get grain if the grain's not fertilized. We don't get eggs. We don't, well, kind of do, but so most cases we don't get chickens. Let's put it that way. So the idea behind that is really, really where we are. So hope that helps a little bit if you guys want to look into kind of how we're doing those pieces. But I'm excited. It's always exciting to do. If you have any questions about Beltane, please put them in the chat and ask them. Joy, I hope at some point we will get together and talk about Beltane. And I really want to kind of start bringing in a lot more personally of the Druidic practices. That are very similar but somewhat different. There's a focus difference in them that I've really enjoyed. Which, by the way, learning of how the fourfold and threefold nature go together has been super exciting outside of the Druid sea, land, air, on top of the east, south, west, north, and the elements. So another thing that I've been reading lately has been very cool. I want to talk to you about because I need some guidance on and some judgment on. Sun phase, we're still in Aries, right? Aries the ram. This is a cardinal fire ruled by Mars, super outgoing, wants to win, wants to challenge, right? That's what our typical sun Aries is. Our moon Aries might be like our presentation of confidence where maybe we actually lack something. So kind of look at that. If you've got them both in your sun and your moon, well, you are who you are and you're fiery in and out, right? Just some things if you're interested in. Some people like it, some people don't. I take it with a grain of salt because to me it's whatever you actually like, doesn't matter. But numbers for Aries are generally 5 and 9. Tuesdays is your day. The head and brain are the things that you tend to have issues or focuses on. Getting in your head too much. Can be impulsive or impatient, maybe even selfish, but very independent and dynamic, right? So positives in every win. Today we're currently 87% illuminated in Virgo. So at 87% waxing gibbous, that means we're going to be coming up on a full moon. I forgot to check when the full moon was, but it's probably around the 5th, 7th, and 5th to 9th, 6th to 9th. I think I mentioned earlier I'm getting out of whack or out of sync with what I like to be with the moon phase. But right now, in the scheme of things, we're generally in the first week or so of the month. So I think that's probably accurate. If anybody knows, also, if you could post that in, that'd be great. I think that's right, though. I think it's like somewhere around the 7th or the 9th at this point. Burn a little bit of myrrh. The 6th? Okay. Thank you, Dragon Dancer. Where am I going to be on the 6th? That's a Thursday, I think, right? I'll be home. Okay. I got to do something for the moon because I've been missing it. Sorry, I'm breaking up some myrrh. So basically what I do is, and then I've been doing this every week, kind of in a weird way, just making a forecast for the week based on where the astrology is. And I'm just using the sun and moon signs as we look at where the moon is in the sun with its relation to the sun of the earth, and then where the sun is in relation to the earth as well. So when we look at Tuesday through today through Tuesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we've got our still sun in Aries, but we've got our moon in Virgo. So we're really looking at some interesting moves here. We got fire and earth. And remember, fire can scorch earth, but earth can really snuff out fire. So there needs to be a balance there. I'm married to a Sagittarius. Rook is Sagittarius. So it's very easy. And one of the things that I tell myself constantly, because I'm not good at it, Virgos are extremely critical, is that I have to make sure that I am never the one that puts out his fire. I do sometimes. I have to watch myself sometimes. And sometimes he burns so hot, it gets on my nerves and drives me nuts. But knowing that about each other, it's not the zodiac that tells us that, it's being human beings, but knowing that that is something that we struggle with, it helps us get along a little easier. So as we think about that, we're going to have lots of laughter, lots of joy, because these two elements get together really well. But sometimes we can get an attitude, sometimes we can separate differences and not be very good at tolerating each other. So it's very important this week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, to keep your tolerance hat on and not let yourself go wild about judging something. Let it go. It'll be fine. Personal decisions are personal decisions. They have a right to feel a certain way, so do you. And let those things go. Don't change it. Be kind. Wednesday and Thursday, so middle end of the week, we go into Libra, which adds a dose of air on the moon side, which means what we're presenting is celestial energies, lots of balance. Now, air and fire can balance together, but they can spin up their little firestorms, which you have to watch out for. But I think this week is really a collaborative week. This is a week to kind of Wednesday, Thursday, really work with the group, to talk to people, engage really well, because when we get to Friday through Sunday, we're going to continue that collaboration and that ability to work together, but we're going to get a little critical as our Scorpio water and fire gets a little mixed up in there and trying to compete. So stay calm. Don't let the water put out the fire. You want to stay on top of how that's all going, so that you don't, want to snuff anybody out just because you think you're right. So that's a very important piece to me. Today, have a couple of things. Articles kind of slow on the article side, plus it's just me. So the one thing I did want to bring up, which makes me very sad, is the article I read on cookie dough. We know cookie dough can be dangerous, and if you didn't, yeah, it can be. There is cookie dough made specifically to be eaten raw, though, and that's the cookie dough you should eat, because we've had an outbreak of salmonella previously related to cookie dough recently. It's getting pretty bad, and what I learned new was that it's related to flour. So when we think about Pagan and being connected to the earth and the things that we do, one of the reasons we run into this kind of trouble is the mass production of things, right? So it's produced so fast and distributed so wide that it can cause sickness or issues. Now you can heat the flour up to make sure nothing is on it, or no bacteria are growing on it, but just be careful. I didn't realize that flour really is raw, but I guess it is raw. It's not cooked, right? So flour is raw and it can carry bugs, so be careful. You can buy heat-treated flour apparently too. That's a thing, but part of me just says, salmonella is rough, but it's around, right? And it makes me wonder if we try so hard to avoid certain bugs that we've created a space where our bodies can't handle it like they used to, right? So interesting point to that too. And yeah, I know it does. And I'm sorry, no offense. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm never going to stop eating raw cookie dough regardless. I'm just not. But it was interesting in the article to kind of hear that, really, flour's raw. That was a revelation to me. So, strange. Big thing I wanted to bring up today, though, is metaphysics. And I wanted to bring it up because it's not truly a pagan topic, but it's something that is very informative to my practice. And it is my topic of learning. I'm actually taking some academic style classes. And I say style because it's a theosophical university, so it's not a true academic process, but I'm learning a lot, and it's been very interesting. And so I wanted to kind of bring it up and see if anybody had any thoughts. Metaphysics is a very important thing to me, and it has been for a long time. Before I was even admitting I was pagan, that is something that I would really focus on. So, Unexplained, welcome in, my friend. I am so glad to see you today. How are you? Full disclosure, Rook and I have been absolutely MIA. Hopefully getting back into some of our old things. I miss watching your show. But we haven't even had time to breathe with everything that's changing. But this week has been amazing, and hopefully that continues so we can kind of get some things going again, right? But glad you're here. Unexplained possibility. I'm not drunk, I swear. Unexplained possibilities. But metaphysics is the topic today, and I kind of wanted to bring up, what is a definition of it? How has it changed? Kind of a background in it, and see if anybody else really focuses on this stuff or if I'm just nuts. So the first thing I wanted to just mention was kind of philosophy. I love philosophy, and I think everybody kind of knows what philosophy is, or has some thoughtfulness of it. It's the study of fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially as an academic thing, right? Quantum physics absolutely is on this table sometime. I do not know a lot about it, but I am very hyper interested in quantum everything. But the philosophy really is, the metaphysics, is the branch of philosophy dealing with the first principles of things, like abstract concepts of being. Who are we? Why are we? What is a substance, cause, identity, time, and space? But this has changed over time, right? So there's been a lot of things online, a lot of discussions online about being a metaphysician or a metaphysical doctor even, or a doctor of philosophy and metaphysics. But what is metaphysics? And to me, it's kind of a very overarching system that allows us to kind of study without evidence, because there's a lot of metaphysical things that don't have any evidence. So how can you apply science to them necessarily? Some of these questions I don't think will ever get answered. But it really is kind of the thing, that kind of drives me. So it's hard to understand. A lot of people just scoff at it and think it doesn't exist. But it's more than a definition. It's like, what is the nature of reality? Does the world exist outside of the mind? Is there a God? Aristotle called it the first philosophy, or wisdom, and subject matter of being as such. So the matter of being, right? The first cause of things, and that which does not change. So what is the primordial, most basic makeup of what we are? Is it the atom, or is it something else? Is it the soul? And how can you say one is the other? Somebody mentioned something, I won't use a name because I don't think she wants to be known, but there's a comment made by somebody today that's like, my skeleton is inside me, but I'm not my skeleton. That's not me. But that's weird, and it just is one of those things that I don't think there's a true answer for. Could we exist independently of parts of our body? Absolutely. My finger is a part of me, but if I lose my hands, I'm still me. And then there's a whole lot of stuff that comes along with that. So what part of you is being? What is making us a being? The adaptations over time, so things have changed over time, of course. They kind of separated into general and special metaphysics, but even further so, there's three distinct areas of it. are ontology, natural theology, and universal science. So ontology, the nature of being, that's the who are we, why are we here, what are we, what does it mean to be me, is really the general part of it. Natural theology is the study of God and the nature of religion, and kind of why does religion develop regardless of where you are, and even unconnected, similar religions can tend to develop. Christianity's, I don't include that necessarily, and it's in the way that I know it, just because I think it is very man-created, not necessarily of something theological. And then universal science, which is the study of the first principles of logic and reasoning, like what is the right thing to do. So there is a really cool thing, I guess. I found a website that I found that I thought was pretty cool, and it gave you a very interesting insight, and it gave me very interesting insight in this. I'm going to pull it up real quick just so you can see it. Make it a little bit bigger here. This is the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Lots of really great tools in here. I did link it in the Two Pondering Pagans, so check that out if you want. And this whole entire process, or this whole entire discussion, really goes into a lot of detail about the word metaphysics. It's very academically driven, and it kind of talks about the categories of being and kind of how metaphysics really develops into a science. Now, when I think of metaphysics, I think of people that don't believe in the paranormal, because I think paranormal is part of metaphysics, at least partially. So there's so many different pieces of what we look at and what we work through that is part of metaphysics, or anything that's outside of the provable. So metaphysics to me is extremely important, like I said, in my own personal practices, because it gives me guidelines and frameworks with which to ask questions, because to me the answers to the questions aren't even as important as the question itself, and then the pondering of the question. So when I think about who am I don't want an answer. I no longer seek the answer to who am I. I don't need to know one thing that I am, because I am so many things. I just need to be able to accurately and actively ponder that question and come up with many things that change over time. So metaphysics and learning about metaphysics helps me through that process. One of the classes I'm currently taking talks about metaphysics from a quantum healing perspective, which talks about how color and sound and vision and all of these other different things and electricity can affect our healing and our learning spaces. As many of you know, both Rook and I are Reiki masters with quite a bit of experience over time, and multiple teachers, where we have kind of gone through and recognized some of the power of that symbolism and energy. When I add that with the quantum stuff that I've also been learning, quantum healing, and how the nature of sound and color and all of these other different things can affect us, that's part of metaphysics to me. So I learned through this process, and I learned through these ideas without ever having a true end-all be-all answer, but more a pathway that I can apply in different situations that will give me different answers each time, but I still have a pathway that I can apply, and that pathway changes a lot. So with that was kind of my main topic today. I know it's not going to be a super long thing today, podcast, talk, service, whatever you want to call it. Because I do want to do tarot with my super fun mushroom midnight magic deck, Joy, so you want to hang out for that one. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing that I really want to get in, have a discussion about, and I'm hoping at some point, again, we'll have people over who are going to participate with us, like we did before, and can have discussions live about them, because I'm not an expert in any of these things, and I want to hear what other people have to say, and I think it'll be a really good conversation. We may do that separate, though, than Sunday service. If anybody wants to come over and just kind of sit down in the library behind me and kind of talk about these topics, I would love to have that discussion. So, have a invitation over. So let's see. Super. I am not sure what you mean. You're not tapping into it. Into what? FYI, there is a pretty good delay. So me figuring out exactly what we're talking about, I need to know that. It's a little off center here. Dragon Dancer, congratulations, great day. Shared a great day with Mr. Melvin there. I love it. Yeah, shape-shifting would probably take a lot of energy, and I would assume you would have a hangover afterwards because of the deficit, much like the bucket of emotion that you have when you start pouring from your bucket and there's nothing in it. That's when you get the hangover, your hangover and your need to regroup from. Metaphysics, good for you, good thing, good for you. I didn't mean it that way, promise. Cheated death, I don't think there is such thing. Personal opinion on that. If you cheated death, then you weren't meant to die. Personal opinion there, though, so I would love to hear more about that at some point. Run Shadows, welcome. Oh, super, welcome in. I don't know that I've seen you in here before, or maybe I'm just not familiar with the name. Usually I don't always keep up with chat as much as I should. And Run Shadows, Quantum Realm is where all the color and sound, etc. vibrations exist in their pure form. Also, I super late to the party. No worries. Late. What do we say? Kings and queens arrive exactly as they are meant to arrive, right? And we are all kings and queens. Super and Run Shadows. We, just for the record too, we have always done, we've skipped it the last few times, we do an after show. So when we go into that after show, which is on the Discord, I'll send a link. If you want to join, you don't have to, there's no requirement. But if you do, that is a topic I would love to hear more about when we get into the after show, because it's a little more personal, a little more specific and one-on-one. But that would be very cool to hear your perspective on things, even though I, will disagree forever. But I will always be listening, because I'm going to use just about everything that goes into my mind at some point in life. But let me get my invite here just in case anybody needs it. But yeah, so metaphysics, kind of not to stray too far from the topic. I think quantum realm fits into metaphysics as a potential when you ask the question the right way, right? So if your question is, okay, Joe, thank you. I don't know, do you have our the other one? Thanks for telling me, though. But if you don't have the Two Iron Pagans Discord, you should. And if you want to chat in afterwards, you can. That'd be exciting. But I kind of look at with metaphysics and kind of thinking metaphysics. It's not my belief system. It's just something that I really enjoy, that allows me to grasp and control and hold on to the questioning that allows me to do more in paganism. So I really get excited when we talk about like quantum physics, because quantum physics in and of itself isn't metaphysics. But if I ask, how does quantum physics change and represent who I am and what I am and who am I on the quantum plane, right? Then that becomes metaphysics, because that is the way that we are kind of practicing through the things that we do. So yeah, that is a thing for me. Yes, I can see that. Interesting story, Death, Aliens, and a friend of mine. It made me believe that he didn't cheat death, because I do believe part of him died and the living part was lost. Dude, Melvin, I would love to hear more about that. That seems very cool. Kind of have that process. And no worries, Run Shadows. It's okay. Discord is awesome, but it's okay. I understand. You don't have to. You should. But I mean, if you're ever interested, and I'm assuming you probably don't want to, but if you are ever interested, we do generally have an open Sunday invitation. You just let us know, because sometimes we go out right afterwards. But an open invitation to our house on Sundays to come on and be present here. We don't do interviews on the Sunday service like this. We don't ever do interviews or things like that. But we do like to have people on to have discussions about topics that we may not know about or be very well versed in. So if there's any of those things you want to chat about, would love to have you on a Sunday. And if not, would love to have you on in the library if you ever want to come in the library. Just an idea. But yeah, so metaphysics, and I'm probably going to want to talk about metaphysics more in the near future. It's not going to be a topic every week. But as I am progressing and going through these courses that I'm taking, the nature of metaphysics, the quantum healing, I'm only in the first part of that. I want to have more conversation about what people believe and how they think those things can affect them and how they work. So very excited to kind of do that. But from the metaphysical perspective, the question of who am I is one of the biggest one, or why am I? And I find a lot of solace in not having an answer to that. I enjoy not having an answer to that, because if I ever got the answer, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't seek that thought again. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it would kind of ruin me. Again, just how I kind of feel about it, but I think it would kind of ruin me. Melvin, I think that I just keep going back to that topic. Part of him died, and the living part. I would love to hear more about that. You should. But if you ever want to, like I said, I know it's techie, and you can step into the 2020s. It's okay. If you do decide to download Discord, we do have a full cups and full cups. We have a cup section. Server, and we have the Two Pondering Pagan server. After the show, we kind of get in there and have a discussion about either what books we're reading, what things we're learning. Sometimes it goes for 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes for 3 hours. So, if you ever want to join up, I'd love to have you in there and have the discussions. So, one of the things that it's a little bit harder for me to do when Rook is not here is the articles. He does really well with the show, with the articles and stuff. And I kind of miss it when he's not here because I feel like I ramble a little bit more. And don't keep me. He keeps me on track a little bit. But yeah, metaphysics, the study of ontology of who am I, why am I, where am I? Now that's the liquor. The natural theology, study of God and nature, religion, and universal science. The other piece that I am highly interested in that I want to talk about in the future is going to be theosophy. I have taken quite a few classes on theosophy to learn it, but I haven't had the ability to grow it because I'm not communicating with people, right? It's great to learn about these things and read about them, but I need talk. I need discussion with people to kind of grow and get those thought processes out and kind of learn. So I appreciate that. I hate to hear that it's tragedy based, but I would love to hear it. Absolutely. I'm going to burn a little bit of hing to get out the bad energy that has been surrounding me today. And, hing will kick it right out. Sometimes it kicks me and Rook right out, too. We are going to do tarot. I have a tarot deck that I have not used very much, if at all. So I'm going to do 3 card readings again since Rook's not here and we do our usual 1 each. We'll do 3 cards. So that is so good, guys. I wish y'all were here to taste the mead. It is just shockingly, amazingly good. Never thought I could actually make something this good. And every time we try it, like a month after it's been sitting, even longer, it's just better and better and better every time. So, yeah. But again, I would love us to get into some more conversation about metaphysics, but we do have a short time on the show. Metaphysics is extremely important to me, as is, again, theosophy. I would love to continue this conversation and have more discussion about it. Please feel free in the Two Pondering Pagans Discord to share your thoughts, ideas about this or anything else. That's what it's there for. We can't all get together at the same time. Not everybody wants to get on video. And by the way, both Run Shadows and Super, you don't have to get on video, for the record. In Discord, you can do audio only. Sometimes people get in there and just listen for the entire time and don't ever say a word. That's fine. We don't mind. It's just kind of a little after service coffee and chat, just without the coffee. So with that, who would like a tarot read? We've already started. Ziggy, you are first up on the board. Thank you. And then we're going to tell you what the deck is. I'm excited. This is a really good deck. But let me just write these down so I don't mess them up. Ziggy, and let me know if you want a general or if you have a question. Dragon and Shar. So we have Ziggy, then Dragon, then Shar. I'm going to go ahead and open up this little thing. Let's see if I have it centered right on the first try. Probably not. Nope. This is the deck we will be using. Midnight Magic, a tarot deck of mushrooms by Sarah Richard. This is a very pretty deck. I've used this deck on Malice Experience just this past Friday. That was the first time I used it, and I love it. I just want to keep using it and use it more. Thank you, Run Shadows. I don't know what happened, but we have been doing it and trying different methods, and every one of them has been coming out just, I love it. And what's really good about it for me is I don't like sweet. Rook doesn't like sweet. So we dry it all the way through, and it's just easier. We don't have to worry about any of the other stuff, like backspeaking and all those things. Unexplained, good, got you in there. So we have Ziggy, Dragon, Shar, Unexplained. Doctor, I cannot say that, and I might mess it up. I'm gonna try it anyway. Costabois. Study, not sure exactly what you mean there, simply by study. There's a good delay on here, unfortunately, so sometimes it's not as very congruent. But do you want a general or a read? We're getting ready to do a 3-card tarot read before we finish up. Shar, general. I like generals, by the way. Pull for a general for Unexplained. We got Ziggy general. Yes, it is a pretty deck. I like it. I have really been enjoying it. It's almost right up there with the Runic Tarot, which is one of my other favorite decks to use. Looks like everybody's a general right now. So again, I'm just gonna make sure I didn't miss anybody. Ziggy, Dragon, and Shar. Unexplained. Run Shadows. Let me know if you want to read, or Dr. Wah. I'm just gonna say it that way if that's okay. If you want to read, post in there. We're going to get this rolling. I gotta turn over my hing because burnt hing burns. Burnt hing burns. It really does. So we're gonna do a couple of reads here. Like I said, we'll do 3 cards since it's just me. Yeah, the freaking Runic Tarot is gorgeous. Let you guys see the back real quick so you kind of have an idea. This is the back of the mushroom. I think they could have done a little bit better with the back of this card. Probably could have done a little bit better. I always want to. This is my favorite thing in the world. Okay, still don't know what that means. Joining job or continue studies. Dr. Wall, I wish I did, but I don't understand what that means. I will tell you, and maybe this answers the question, I don't know, but I study metaphysics and theosophy independently on my own. My official job is nursing, and it is very specific to nursing. It's academically graduate nursing. So not sure if that's what you're talking about when you talk about joining job or continue studies. For me, this is all studies, because everything I do metaphysically, pagan wise, or anything else is all done on me time. It is all things that I enjoy. It is all things that just help me feel like I'm doing things to be a better person. I will say I really do want to bring Reiki and Kvantum healing into my nursing practice and be a health coach. That's one thing that's on my list of things to do and kind of bring together. So not sure if that is where you're headed with that, but maybe. Feel free. One of the neat things that I just like to talk about with hing, I love hing. Rook hates it. Says it makes him want to leave the building. Makes me think he's maybe a demon. But one of the things I love about hing is it expands as it heats, and it's a really good herb to use in cooking. Like, it's a very, very common Indian herb. Asafoetida, however you want to say it, but yeah. So, anywho, let's get this rolling. Ziggy, you're up first for a general. La General read. Sorry, I accidentally flipped one card. And if we have reversals, we'll use them, but I'm not going to do it if it's just one flips. Sorry, not understanding your questioning. If anybody else does, please feel free to answer. But I'm not following. Sorry. All right, Ziggy. Sorry, I want to give this a real good shuffle. one last shuffle here, and we will get some cards pulled. I use Reiki a lot personally, and when somebody's really sick, if they allow me to. And learning the quantum energy, the classes I'm taking right now, I'm in one of 3 classes on quantum healing and quantum energy, and it has really kind of opened up that whole idea of Reiki even more. Ziggy, Ziggy, Ziggy. All right, Ziggy, your first card's the Tower, my dear. You always get the fun ones. So, as we continue to move on into things that are happening, I think this came up for you last week. It came up for somebody last week. It might have been you. I don't remember. But the Tower really, as we speak of, is not a bad card. It is a necessary part of cycles. It, to me, just represents the need for that adjustment over, right? There's, you can say traditionally, oh, it's a paradigm shift. The whole thought process is tumbling down, blah, blah, blah. But it's really about creating the space for the new to grow, right? Which is something that fungus does really well. We would not live if it weren't for fungus, right? Fungus breaks things down. So in the Tower, you're breaking down that mentality, that whole thought process. And so that you have something new and you have a new thought shift, a new idea to move through. But let's see what the other cards kind of say. I feel like these are the same cards. I need to write these down week to week so I can keep track of them, because somebody last week ended their, I think it was their second and third card was, I don't know if it was you, but it was the Tower and the 6, I think, swords, if I'm not mistaken, from last week. This time it's the 6 of Cups, and it's the first 2 cards. So if we look at how we're progressing, we're going from our Tower, our need to create space for this new thing, it's becoming even more imminent, or it just recently happened. So what we talked about last week is probably moving into this week, where whatever it was, that was Tower oriented has now happened or is happening. But the good thing is it comes through with the 6 of Cups next. So yeah, it's a 6. It's kind of in this middle. There's still a lot of hard work, but this is an emotional point where you're starting to feel better in tune with your emotions and better in tune with what's happening in this situation. So things are getting better and you're feeling it a little bit, but you still feel stressed because there's so much more on top of it. And then ultimately, the Moon showing up is really kind of hammering in that need to see things from a different light. I talk about a lot with the Moon where this, the contrast of the Sun illuminates everything we think, right? But when you apply a different perspective, the Moon's perspective, a different contrast, different light, we see something completely different that might not have been there before. And that's, again, what the Moon says. So now we've progressed a little bit in this situation that you have where the Tower is more active right now. The 6s are more active right now. So kind of pay attention to being stuck in the middle. Don't let yourself get stuck thinking about it. The Cup says it's going to be okay, but you got to let it go. And then the Moon is, again, this next step is requiring that different perspective to look at. So whatever it is, it's progressing. It's moving into the more active scenario, that actual change. And if you don't jump on board and move through it with this whole process, like the Moon, and look at it from that different perspective, it's going to pass you by, and you might miss out on something that needs to adjust in order for you to get your next step. Not the end of the world, just means you might have to start over, and we don't really like to do that very much. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you had, the only one person had the Tower last week, so it was a Tower and a 6 of Swords. I remember I think it was Buffy. So I hope that gives you a little bit of information into what it is that you're trying to work through. Your difficult part of your process is either upon you or just finished, so you're going through the hardest part right now. And you'll have some relief. 6 of Cups, I'm going to give you some relief, as long as we start applying that new perspective. Otherwise, it's going to get murky again. Might have been Temperance. I love Temperance. Is a really gorgeous card to me in this deck. Hopefully it comes up. But anyway, hope that helps. We're going to move on to Dragon Dancer and get a general read for you going, my dear. Let's see. I feel like some pine today. This is the pine from the UU, from the Grove. Thank you to Run Shadows and Joy and Solomon and everybody else who Takes care of that land. That is where this next smoke of cleansing is coming from. All right, Dragon Dancer. Let's get a few extra shuffles in here. God, this stuff smells so good. I can't even explain. Can't even begin to explain. You're welcome, Ziggy. Thank you. I'm so happy that you come every week and kind of check us out and keep us up, keep up with us. It's very nice. I appreciate you. Dragon Dancer, let's connect up. Let's ping the universal source and see what the cards have for you this week. The Empress. All right. The Empress. It's the hen of the woods as a mushroom. So the Empress often represents abundance, right? So things, and again, we're in this current setting. We have lots of abundance. Things are relatively smooth and growing for you. They're on a positive track. This is our active motion. So we're kind of moving towards a positive go forward. Not moving towards, I'm sorry. We are in a positive, a growth stage for you. So, as we kind of look at everything that's going on around you, the things that are most beneficial to you, the Empress knows. She's the Empress, like she's the head of everything. And she's also the ultimate being of growth and fertility, especially on Beltane. That is a great card to have because you are in tune with everything that's going on around, everything that's growing around you. Our second card gives us a little bit of pause, though, the Hermit. We have two major arcanas here, so these, and a third one actually is coming. Just pulled it. But this Hermit is, again, this need to kind of go in and self-evaluate and self-reflect on what it is that is meaningful to you. So the Empress can kind of take this as, I am at the top of my game. I am doing everything that I need to do, but something maybe is missing. And the Hermit is saying, look, it's fine. You're good. Let's take a breather. Let's go inside. Let's, shut the door. Let's read a new book. Let's process a new thing and see how that affects us and gives me that new lease or that new desire to move forward, that new push to continue doing something that you love, because maybe you're feeling a little bit stagnant. And then the last or the third card, also a major arcana, and I am shuffling, is the World. So as we know, the world is the culmination of the Fool's journey, but it also means the Fool's journey is about to start over again. So this is a new thing for you. Being that these are all major arcanas, I'm going to want to pull a clarifier card. I want an element to kind of tell me what direction this is in relation to, right? Because it's a little difficult to kind of read of this whatever this is a huge deal. With the Empress, super positive, moving forward in growth. The Hermit wanting you to kind of self-evaluate and kind of look at, okay, what do I need to add in or learn from or push in myself to grow to a new thing? And my result is going to be the culmination of this big thing that I want to do. That's awesome. But what is this thing? Like there's something kind of hanging out there. And it's the Three of Swords. Okay. So this is telling me it's something learning-wise. It's very specific to learning a new skill, learning a new process, something that is going to give you a comfort and protection skill, right? So this could be learning something tactical. This could be, learning a new way to garden, learning a new process or a new plant that maybe you couldn't grow, whatever. But it's very specific to learning something specific and new that is going to just top off the game that you're in. Meaning, let's say master gardening, right? This is going to be the top piece that's going to put you through it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be good. So I hope that gives you a little bit of guidance. That's a very interesting read. I very rarely get all majors in a 3-card read, so this Swords is definitely putting you on the learning path. So pay a lot of attention to the Hermit on that one. This is big and it's good, and and they're in order too. Another thing to pay attention to for those of you that want to learn tarot, if you don't know, for me, it's very important of where the items are. We went from the beginning, the 3, right to the middle with the Hermit at 9, and then to the end at 21 with the World. So this means things are progressing in the right way, This means that you are going with the grain. This means that the universe and you are in tune. Things are positive. Things are going in the right direction. And then throwing in the Three of Swords in there to give me that element of air to kind of tell me what it's in relation to and what you're going to be focusing on. So this is definitely a learning thing. I don't know if you have, like, it makes me think of when I used to go to Northwest River Park, gorgeous park in Virginia near where I lived, huge outdoors, like it just was huge. And they would do nature seminars. It seems to me like maybe there's something that you need to look out for seminar-wise or training-wise to go to the next level in something that you're really passionate about. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's just something in there that you're really passionate about that's going to take you to a new level, but you need a learning push from it. You need an expert at it to kind of throw in something to you to get you on that track. So Dragon Dancer, again, hope that gives you a little bit of input, a little bit of idea. So thank you for letting me do a read for you. Shar, you're up next. We'll do a general for Shar. Same thing. We got 3 cards. Let's see. As far as clarifiers go, I never really know if I'm going to need a clarifier until I'm really into the read. If I feel like there's just not a clear trend or path that gives me some ideas. I like clarifier cards. I often use a different deck to pull the clarifiers, though, because I think that gives me a little bit more information, but I just don't have another deck here with me. So all right, Shar, let's see what we got for you, my dear. I believe you said general. Let's see, Shar, what do you need to know from the universe? What is coming for you? My favorite card in the deck. Favorite card in the deck, the Magician. Oop, sorry. The Magician. This is the little bird of the woods. By the way, I don't know how that works. Little bird of the woods. I've heard chicken of the sea. I've heard of chicken of the woods too, I think is a thing. Isn't that a big fungus? The chicken of the woods? Or chicken of the tree or something? Anywho, let's talk about the Magician. The Magician is my favorite card because it means action. It means trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, and use all of the tools that are available to you because you have them all. It's a reminder that we are as above, so below, as within, so without. We are those things, you know? And I think that it's extremely important that we recognize that we are all of those things. We have air in us. We have brain, we have thought, we have intuition, we have fire in us, we have creation, will, desire, career, power. We have water within us, which is emotion and joy and bringing things together and flow. And then we have earth within us, which is our stability, our concreteness, our financials, our things that are about us. And the Magician says, you've got them all 4, you need to use them. So something in your life that's going on right now, in my opinion, needs some forward action. It needs you to recognize that you already have everything you need to do whatever it is you're trying to do that you're afraid to do. And you need to move. You need to make action. So the Magician does talk about if you don't recognize that you have everything that you need, right? So if you look in this card, you see all of the elements there. You see air with the dragonfly. You see fungus with the mushroom. You see water with the berries, thinking of a berry being growth or extrapolation or gaining, and water, which sustains every life, right? So you really need to look at what is it that's holding you back from moving forward, because you have all the tools, you're just not using them. So use them. It's going to make more sense too when I throw in the Chariot. Now this card, I spit on it, this card is all about action. The Chariot means that you are in control of the chariot. You have the ability to drive this chariot and win the race. Take the Chariot information on top of the Magician and know that you need to move forward with something or it's going to falter very poorly. You have to take steps forward in whatever this action is. You've been thinking about it. It's in your mind. I would gesture to say you're thinking about it right now. Or maybe in your mind you're thinking, well, I'm not sure exactly what it is. It will come to you. But these are all action cards. The Magician, use your magic. Do it now. The Chariot, you're in control. Lead. Maybe you're a little bit afraid to lead, but you need to. And that's going to lead me to the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands for me is kind of a card that's towards the end, right? We're in the 8, 9s, and 10s. So we're in the end of a project or a process or a thing that's bothering us. And the Eight of Wands really wants you to pay attention. Eight of Wands wants you to kind of take a step back and look at everything that's happening with you and that's going on in your life, because you need to take a step forward. I would venture also to say that this is related to either a career or creative endeavor that you're doing. You think you're really good at it, and you are, but you're afraid to actually do it because something, for whatever reason, this is saying you should be doing it. You've gotten to a point where you're capable of it, and maybe this is a new job or a new position at work. I'll pull a card here in a minute because I think I want a little bit of additional information on this too, but thus far, looking through these 2 major arcanas and into your Eight of Wands, this is an action. You need to do something. You need to take steps to do the thing that you're doing right now or whatever's in your brain. Eight of Wands is truly about that step of I'm going to gather my thoughts. I'm going to push things together. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to take that step. And I'm almost at the top perfection of this career path or this creative path. But something's holding you back. And then the Ace of Wands, so as a clarifier, and I'm going to apply the Ace of Wands to all 3 cards, right? Let me put that down there. I'm sorry, Ace of Pentacles. I was looking at the Eight of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles I'm applying to every card. Aces are the embodiment of everything and nothing at the same time. They have all of the energy of that card and none of the energy. They are every card in the group. So the Ace functions as the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, if that makes sense. It does all of them, but it's raw and undirected. So if I add the Ace of Pentacles into this read, I'm still thinking that this is something that's about your career or your creative endeavors. But what's holding you back is your non-belief in yourself. You feel like it's not practical. It's not appropriate. People are going to laugh at you. It's going to be stupid. Let that go and do whatever it is you need to do. This is really important, though, because literally looking at the Magician, I can't tell you enough, Magician and Chariot are telling you to do this thing that you're worried about not doing. And the Eight of Wands, you're going to be great at it. And the Ace of Pentacles, your barrier is you and being worried about what other people think of you and how it's going to turn out. There's a little bit of fear in there that you need to overcome. So, Shar, I hope that does give you a little bit of insight into whatever's going on with you. But thank you for letting me read you. I appreciate that. I enjoy this. This is my fun thing. You know, we often talk about how we have energy exchange when it comes to tarot, and some people are like, well, I have to charge because there's an energy exchange. You should charge too, Salann. I don't, because the energy exchange is in person for me. It is in our connection. It is in my ability to experience and grow from reading. It's in my joy of using cards. It's in my joy of having the cards to use. So that's the energy I get from you. And then hopefully what I give back to you is the energy of the universe through me utilizing the cards to give you a little bit of direction and process of whatever it is you need to choose next. So do I believe that the cards tell the future? Not specifically. I believe that the cards give us one glimpse of a potential future that we can alter as humans, as beings of the universe, by changing some of the things that we do. And I think that the cards give us energy from the universe that kind of tell us, well, wait a minute. If you really want to do this, this is what you might want to consider. And now you have information that you can use to kind of alter that course. I do not believe in specific fate. It's just my thing. I do clearly and often and truly believe that we are all part of the same universe. We are all in the same boat. And that the cards just give us an inkling into some of the things we can adjust or move. Unexplained is up next. Mr. Unexplained Possibilities. I love unexplained possibilities. They're possible and they're unexplained. I'm just kidding. I'm making shit up now. I need to light another charcoal, so give me a minute here so I can do these last two. I found silver charcoal. I have colored charcoal. Gold, silver, red, blue. It's really pretty. Because I'm a nerd. Honestly, this stuff lights faster too. But I just need to get another good smoke going so I can cleanse this deck. But I believe you wanted a general there, fine sir, if I'm not mistaken. I love these cards. There's a lot of me that is going to probably continue using them for quite the future. Unexplained, I think, again, you said a general. Let's get a couple of cards for you, my friend. I didn't either. And interestingly, it doesn't do anything. It stays that color. It's pretty. But yeah. Charcoal was very hard to find for a while. Like, I couldn't get it in any, like, all I could get was, like, miniature lemon flavored charcoals, which I thought was very strange. Yeah. Anyway, unexplained. Let me make sure I'm connected to the right you. Unexplained possibilities. We're going to do a general read. What does the whatever you believe in, energies, the air, the gods and goddesses, what does the universe have for you, my friend? If you want to plug your book, you should plug your book, Mr. Unexplained Possibilities. I'll look it up in a second and see if I can find the link on Amazon. If you guys have not realized that the Mr. Unexplained Possibilities has authored a very interesting and fun to read book, you're missing out. You should check it out. And we're waiting for the second one. We are major arcana the frick out of things today, and we are even 6s and 8s all over the place. All right, Mr. Mel, your first card is Justice. Old Man of the Woods is the name of this this fungus, this mushroom. Justice to me is a gorgeous card, but it is very two-sided, and it's very unnerving to a degree because justice can mean justice will be served. It can be good or bad because it depends on the energy you're putting out. This means that there's something that needs to be done and needs to be righted and will be righted regardless of what happens, whether it's good or bad. If you've recently lost money or lost something, I use money because it's easy to understand, then you'll find it. If you've recently taken something from somebody inappropriately, they're going to get it back. That's the idea of justice. Now, for you, we're going to see what the other cards say first to kind of determine what that is. But think of right now, something is going to come up. The dues will be paid for something that's going on for you. We got the Chariot again, which, as you know from the previous read, if you were able to listen, the Chariot is all about action and movement and being in control. So when I couple that with your Justice card, the Chariot means something is going to be moving forward for you. That is going to provide you with a justification, an answer, a positive notion to what you're doing. So this turns justice into a forward motion, which is a positive thing for me. The Chariot generally represents, again, being in control. I have my steed, I have my horses, right? I have my chariot, it's in good shape, and I am going to move, and I'm going to control, and I'm going to be in charge of this movement. That's a good thing. Justice means positive, or a thing will come to fruition, will come to balance. And so there's some active balance for you. And then we're throwing in the Eight of Wands again. So this is something, again, usually career or creative related. If you're working on another book, which you should, if you haven't, it's not pricky if the person tells you to do it, just for the record. I just don't have the link at hand, but I will put it in there myself in a minute. But so we're adding our Eight of Wands in here, right? So think about this, I would need a bigger tray to kind of put all these out, right? You've got your Justice. Justice is a good thing, especially if you're a good person. You try to do the right thing as much as possible. Chariot is a good thing because it means you're in control and you need to move forward. Eight of Wands is a good thing. It's a representation of creativity and forward motion of the wands, of the active, the willpower. And you're towards the end of it, so maybe a little bit tired, but this is a positive thing. This is this makes me think that you're doing something new, a new book, a new job, a new career, a new thing, and you're working through it and you're actively doing it. But different from the previous readings that I did with this particular card, you're not having any barriers. You're just not doing it necessarily. You're thinking about it. You've got the idea. You maybe have a couple of things in place, but you need to actually start moving it forward because it's worth it and you should do it. Really, if I look at these three cards together, you're seeing, look at the numbers. You've got a high number here, right? So you got, in this potential, that's 11. You've got 7, and then you've got 8. So you're starting on a high, you're getting knocked back a little bit, so there's a potential barrier, but then you're moving forward again slowly. So whatever it is, you gotta get working on it, man. And you gotta do a positive go, because there's something that's going to be very beneficial for you in this Chariot. In this Eight of Wands, that's going to be driven only by you moving forward and actually making things happen. So if you have any questions or comments about this deck, the Midnight Magic, you should check it out. It's a beautiful deck. Sorry, just plugging that for a minute, but Unexplained, Mel, this reading is specific to forward movement. You've got to do something. You've got to move forward on something, and it's going to be extremely beneficial for you. Don't let an opportunity pass you by. If something is you want to do, but you're kind of like, nah, I don't have enough time. I don't know. You're kind of on the fence about it. There's no clear answer, but you definitely have to make a decision and move forward with something because there's going to be some pretty good results out of it. I would love to read that. Volume 2. You are welcome, sir. Run away. Run away. I don't know why I said run away. Run shadows, not run away. Don't run away. We got a general read for you too, unless you have a specific question. Let's see what we get. Run shadows. Oh, we got a true jumper on that one. Jumped out as I was saying your name. All right, let me turn it over and see what it is. Ace of Pentacles. All right, run shadows. Ace of Pentacles. As you know, we talked about it a minute ago, aces of anything are the full embodiment of everything, but it's just undirected energy. So Ace of Pentacles is starting us off in the land of the world, the land, the place, the tree, the ground, the finances even, but all of the things that are here on this realm. So we are in mundane world for you on this read, starting with the Ace of Pentacles. Let's get a couple of additional cards and see what we get. We have a 9 and a Knight. So this is some good information here. 9 of Wands. This is a poison fire coral, is what we have here. 9 of Wands comes up oftentimes when we're kind of in that section of, I don't want to say instability, of meh. Just like meh. There's something in the grand mundane world of yours that is very appetizing. It's very unfulfilling. You're feeling stagnant in something. It's kind of like it's meh, right? Whether that means there's a jump start needed in a certain area, I don't know, but it is definitely related to the mundane world. Getting a Pentacles and a Wands together can sometimes mean it's career related. So maybe something at work is very meh and you need a little uptick. You're just bored or need a little bit of pick me up. Maybe somebody new at work, which this could be because your next card. There's somebody new at work or somebody new to you at your location, your work, or in your circles that is not really great in the grand scheme of things. There's an energy value here. So let's look at this one, the Knight of Swords, right? So if you recognize this particular fungus, this is the fungus that hijacks an ant and kind of controls it. So it seems like the Knights, which again, if you've had a reading with me before, the court cards almost always represent a person. Sometimes they can represent you. You're a behavior or an aspect of yourself, but I don't get that in this particular reading because we're in the mundane world. So with the Knight of Swords, I'm getting there is somebody around you that thinks their shit doesn't stink and it is getting on your nerves and they are trying to control you. It seems like it's related to work, but it might be related to non-work, like regular mundane life, but it certainly is in the physical world. The thing that worries me the most about this person is very toxic, and then once they're done controlling, there will be nothing left. So I would take a look at just somebody around you. Generally, it's a male action presence, meaning not a guy or girl, not a male or female, boy or girl, not a gender. This is a something that is traditionally seen as a masculine effect person. So somebody that is controlling, somebody that is toxic and really trying to pressure things to go a certain way, and it is not jiving with you. Listen to your intuition. Ace of Pentacles, full embodiment of the mundane world. You know what it is. You just don't have it right in front of you. Nine of Wands, paying attention to where you are in these things. It will fix itself. You don't need to do anything, but do not let this controlling person figure it out or change you. Let them think that they're controlling and living out their dream. They will take care of themselves very soon. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, it will soon, I'm pretty sure. Thank you. Is there anybody else that I missed or anybody else that would like a read? Hopefully that made some sense to you. Run Shadows. But anyway, I appreciate everybody allowing me to do some card pulls for you. Again, this energy exchange for me is the joy I have working with the cards. I love it. They're my favorite thing in the world to do, as many of you know. So we're going to go ahead real quick and hop on over to, sorry, I need to clean up my desk here, to the favorite part of Rook's favorite part, because it's his favorite part and I can't not do it even though he's not here. So we're going to give it a minute to kind of catch up. But again, thank you guys, everybody. I'm glad. I am too. I understand that completely. Trust me. I very rarely even ask for reads because, I don't know. I like doing them, you know? Oh, dropped all my cards. So, I always appreciate the opportunity to read for any reason, and thank you for letting me read you. Not the library kind of read. This is the fun read where I get to see what the universe gives to you, and I get to also learn from it on my own. Plus, man, how can you not let me read you today? It's a mushroom tarot. Seriously, I'll bring this with me next time to the Grove, and we can go through the process. I do it well, just for the record. Reading, that is. Ha ha ha. All right. Let's see. Hopefully we have caught up here. I have to wait for this thing to come up. But again, I love doing the reads. Thank you so much for letting me read you. I really do. Seriously, it's a joy to do. But I haven't done a long read in a long time. I might start doing those again. Usually I have a couple of people I owe a reading to somebody because they've asked and I have blown them off because things haven't been right for me for a while. But I love doing very long 10, 20 card reads. It's so much fun. But anyway, yes, it is called Midnight Magic by Sarah Richard. It is gorgeous. The way, and they're all drawn, is so pretty. But as we end, please check out all of these awesome creators, witches, and wonderfuls. We have From the Cauldron Witch on Instagram and From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. That is the one she does tarot from. She's an amazing reader. You should check her out. She usually goes live, I think, like 1 or 2 o'clock. I get a little confused sometimes because she is in California. Paranormal Witch on YouTube and Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. Watch for her stories. She is a wonderful, wonderful mod for us. Couldn't be here today. She did let me know that. But I wish her well in all the things that she has to do. She's an amazing person. We have Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube and Instagram. the resident author who's hopefully working on a second book. Please make sure you check out some So Strange Times on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. You can get the book. It's really good. It's a fun read. You can sit down and enjoy it. Ziggy Dreadful on Twitch, who self-proclaims that she very rarely gets on Twitch. Hopefully we'll see her more soon. But check her out on Twitch when she goes live with her games. She's a lot of fun. Mavethel on Twitch, also going live with games once in a while. Adius Date on Twitch, Instagram. Mr. Malice on YouTube. Adius Date on Facebook and Twitter. All of those handles are the other part of the Malice experience every Friday at 8-ish p.m. If it was up to me, it would be at 8 p.m. Dude can't get his time right. I'm just saying. No offense, Adius Dade. And we are the Two Pondering Pagans, even though my other half is not here today. He had to work. You can find us, the Two Pondering Pagans, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Difference being on Twitter, it is all one word. Also, at @NerSkyBri, that's my old handle. Rook and myself, Mystic Salann. So we have Rook Tempest and Mystic Salann on YouTube. And we have our own channels, but we put all of our content out on here together. So feel free to check us out if you want, but you won't see us much on there. Last but not least, it's going to be a relatively short one because I am in hyper mode. If you can't tell, I've had 3 cups of coffee and I had none yesterday. But I am going to open up, give me about 2 to 3 minutes to get my iPad out, and we will hop on Discord. If you want to join on Discord, would much appreciate that. You can find out a lot of very interesting stuff. The amount of engagement that you do is completely up to you. There are no requirements. I just love to see the getting together and all the different things that we can do in the in the Discord. We have some pretty good conversations, but in just a few minutes, we will be on the Discord, so feel free to join in. We will talk about just about anything, books, movies, things that you enjoy, things that you don't enjoy. I will be cleaning my closet while I do it. So please feel free to join, and we'll hang out there for a bit. Thank you again for spending your Sunday midday with me. I hope you have found some value in this, and if you haven't, it's okay. Give me some ideas. Tell me what you want to hear. We'll bring it up. And more videos to come soon. So thank you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until then, salvete omnes. Hail thyself and